Sunlight is the most abundant energy resource on Earth. At any moment in time, over 173,000 terawatts of solar energy strike the Earth. That's 10,000 times the combined energy use of the entire planet. So, how do we harness the power of the sun? To harness the most abundant source of energy on Earth, we use the most abundant material on Earth, sand. Sand is made up of silicon, a hard brittle solid with a bluish-gray luster. Silicon is a semiconductor, meaning it conducts electricity under some conditions, but not others. This makes silicon a good medium for the control of electric current, and thus an essential element of the solar industry. Before silicon can be used in a solar application, it must be grown. Pure silicon is melted in a crucible. Then a small seed crystal, mounted on the end of a rod, is dipped just below the surface of the melt. Very slowly, the rod is pulled upward and rotated at the same time. This produces a crystalline cylinder of silicon that is then sliced crosswise into very thin wafers. These wafers are then used in solar cells. You can think of a solar cell as a kind of silicon sandwich. SunPower's Maxeon cell, shown here, is the most efficient cell in the industry. When the sun's light shines on the cell, photons bombard the silicon and give up their energy to the electrons in the silicon. The electrons flow out of the cell and into a circuit that conducts the electricity. A solar panel, or module, is just a group of solar cells connected electrically to one another and packaged into a frame. The more solar cells in the panel, the greater the electrical output. Each panel has a negative and a positive connection so that several panels can be grouped into what's called an array. The more panels in the array, the more power that can be generated. The type of electricity created when photons interact with silicon is direct current, DC. With DC, the flow of electrons through a current is always in one direction. Alternating current, AC, allows electrons to flow in both directions. This is the type of electricity used in your home, by your utility company, and in the electric grid. An inverter is used to turn the DC electricity into usable AC electricity. In a typical solar system, the electricity created by the solar panels flows out of the panels to an inverter where it is converted to AC electricity. The latest technology in solar uses panels equipped with a microinverter. These panels are becoming increasingly popular because the electricity that flows from these panels is already converted to usable AC electricity. SunPower's Equinox system, with factory-installed microinverters, has the highest efficiency on the market. This eliminates the need for the bulky inverter and reduces the amount of conduit needed by the system. Electricity from the inverter, or microinverters, gets routed to the home's main service panel or breaker box. Here the electricity is distributed throughout the home. Virtually every solar home is still connected to an electric meter and the utility grid. When the system generates more electricity than the home needs, the surplus goes to the grid and the homeowner receives a credit from the utility company. When the home uses more electricity than the system generates, like at night, the home draws the power it needs from the grid. The utility company keeps track of the difference through a process called net metering. SunPower panels have a life expectancy of 30 to 40 years. On average, utility costs rise 2 to 4% every year. Use the power of the sun to eliminate your energy bill, help save the planet, and increase your property value. And that's how solar works.